everyone. So this is a timeless collective reading. However, I am recording this on February 13th to go out tomorrow. So if you're watching this on the 14th, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you're watching it another day, I still hope you're having a wonderful day. So the theme that I feel drawn to pick up on is perfectly in alignment with this, happily enough for me, which is a profound message of love and light from Spirit. So I'm being drawn to two stones, and I feel one of them is called malachite. It's green. I'm seeing two green stones, one that's dark green and then one that's light green. And I do feel like the light green is very similar to the one that I have, the prehnite, where it's like a healing stone. So I'm seeing these two stones. It could not be prehnite. I think it's prehnite for some people, but then there's this other one that's also light green. And it feels a little bit like it has other colors in it. I don't know if it's speckled or it's more just has like different color striations in it. And then I'm like physically being drawn to these. I have like some meteorites, and one of them is from the Sahara Desert, and then the other one is from Arizona. And the one from Arizona is from Canyon Diablo. I don't know where the other one's specifically from there, but I'm being drawn to that, so those might be significant as well. But it's more about when I say that, it throws me into space, and it's this feeling of infinite space, and this feeling that you are filling the void. There's a void of infinite space that you're filling, and I'm also getting that. Okay, let me slow down with this, because this is going to take an explanation. Okay, so I'm seeing you focusing on something with regards to yourself that is supposed to help you in some way, okay? And it is, and it's happening in the physical, and that's let me return to what I'm about to say. Okay, so actually I can say it in this kind of scenario. So just whatever it is, you're focusing on this, right? Now imagine as this happens, it literally just happened here. There are two huge birds, I don't know what they were, that just flew right outside my window. And that's what I'm getting is, just like when I would read God Calling on here and I can't get my words and my thoughts straight because I can feel that there's this huge message coming through that is beyond comprehension. And then it happens in the physical where there's a redundancy in it, right? There's that repetition of and confirmation that there's a message that has come through. There's a sign, there's confirmations, there's an angel or a spirit with you, and they're communicating very strongly with you. And I see this happening with you. So as you're focusing on something that's very important to you, something like that happens. Okay, so I see this in a literal way. That is me saying that that's what's coming through, that's what's going to come through. So let's mention that, and then let's move forward on something else that I need to tell you. So what it feels like is, let me set the scene, let me set the example, okay? Let's say that you are focusing on gardening, okay? And you're out there, you're like, this is the year I'm gonna start gardening, I'm gonna put all my seeds out there, right? And what this is actually doing is it's helping you in so many ways, because You're growing organically. You're getting your hands in the dirt, so you're really connecting with nature and all those little microorganisms in the ground. You're getting vitamin D from the sun. You're connecting so deeply with nature because you are of nature, right? Like your body, your vessel is of this world. It is of nature. And so you're really getting in touch with this in such a profound way. It's just really, really connected, right? And so now you're starting to discover all of these different holistic ways of dealing with different ailments that you may have had. And now you don't even have a lot of these ailments that you may have had, right? Then you realize, oh my gosh, 6 or 7 months ago, I set the intention to be on my highest timeline. And lo and behold, here you are on your highest timeline, maintaining yourself at a high frequency. And I am seeing this like connected with what you're doing. So even with the gardening, you do vibrate at a higher frequency when you're connected with nature. You're more grounded physically as well as mentally and spiritually. When you are eating things that are not counterintuitive or counterproductive to your body, you know, with all of these like additives and everything. You're cutting down meats and stuff, like all of these things are higher vibration. So you are actually doing these things, and it is putting you on your highest timeline, because physiologically you're protecting yourself from, again, those mystery ailments or known ailments that you've had. You're meditating when you're out in the garden, so you're practicing mindfulness for extensive periods of time. That has helped you become more sociable because you've introduced yourself to gardening groups. Again, you're getting, connected to nature, where it almost feels like nature's familiarized itself with you, just as you familiarize yourself with nature. So you see yourself truly as one. And then I'm also seeing how this is like, let's say that you're predisposed to depression, okay? And depression would put you on a lower timeline because you might cope with those in lower vibrational ways, right? Or whatever. And so you doing all of these things that are holistic, that are good for your body, that are keeping you meditated, all meditative state, and all these kinds of things are protecting you from this predisposition of depression that you may not have even known that you've had. And so you have effectively come into exactly what you've been focusing on, manifesting on, which is staying and maintaining your highest timeline, right? And this is protecting you. I need to highlight this so much because it's very important for you to understand this point, that the things in the material, right? Like it takes a long time for things to happen in the material, and there's this feeling like you have to heal. You have to heal yourself, and you have to heal from the spiritual in order to fully integrate it with the physical environment and healing in the physical, right? So like if we look at like soulmates and stuff like that, and how there's like this separation, well, it's a lot more effective to heal on the spiritual than it is to come together when it's not ready and then try and work through those things in the physical, because then all of the problems, the worldly problems that get in the way and complicate the spiritual nature of things, that can make things much more enmeshed and tangled and it would take much longer, if it could even happen in that lifetime, to untangle those things. So a lot of times these separations occur in order to heal certain things, or to focus on certain divine missions that are important, maybe not just to you, but even to the whole, right? And this actually brings me back to the last video. I was like laughing because Oric, you said, if you're watching this, anyway, someone left a comment, and they said, you know, they love the deck, and I was like, huh. And I looked at the deck, and it was an indigo deck, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I had already gotten the messages before I pulled the deck, right? And so without thinking, I had pulled the indigo deck, and it even has purple in it, and I'm even growing indigo, so I don't know why it just never really, like, the bluish purple to me, like indigo, obviously. And I don't know the full extent of what, like, an indigo child is. I know that's a big thing, and I think in the 70s or 80s that was like a super explosive thing when that started becoming like talked about or whatever. But anyway, I do feel that there is a connection here, especially with that feeling of the void, where a lot of you, if not all of you who are watching this, definitely who watched that other video, are what I would see, I guess, is what's coming through as an indigo child, where essentially there is a part of your mission where you have decided to come to this world to help heal a lot of the brokenness and the turning away from self, from the soul. There's a lot of destructive patterns that are existing in the material world, in the manifested world. And so there are many individuals, souls, that have decided and willingly volunteered to say, hey, I can do this. And so it's just like a little side note, because I do feel that's part of it too, is like, you're not only maybe in separation or have been in separation at one point with an individual because of some sort of healing that may have to do with self, but there's that bigger healing of the collective that you volunteer to do. And the healing between you and your soulmate are very minor things that are predisposed. They've been predestined, preconditioned, whatever the word I'm trying to look for, where basically it's like, well, we have decided we're going to be here for, like, you know, 5 to 10 lifetimes, and so we need to lower our vibration to a certain degree, which means there's a certain degree of separation that occurs between us, or the perceived separation, in order for that to also propel us forward. So that's kind of like, do you see what I'm saying? That's just like part of it. It's like, oh, we're going to do that because we know that that's going to keep us here a little bit longer, but that's not the bulk of, you know, you've already healed that part, you've already ascended that part, and you probably, for a lot of you, probably never even had that point of perceived separation that was just agreed upon to come down here. You may have never even been here before this, hence a lot of longing feeling that you get of wanting to be back where you were, where it's not so crazy. So anyway, this one's bothering me right here. It's a little crooked. This one that's ajar. Oh, there's two. Okay, we're gonna get these two as well. Okay, and I want let's just get two of everything, right? Let's get two of everything and swipe it away. Sort of away. Okay, so we have Sage, be devoted, committed. Eagle, see from a higher perspective. Magic, guardian, unlock the magic within. Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Let's start here because this is going to take a long time to read, and this is kind of self-explanatory, so I think this is okay to just kind of end it with that. So this is essentially what I've been saying, which is, and here's the void, and here's some green. It is like light green, dark green. But this is the void that I'm talking about. This is also kind of indigo, right? And then the trait of exchanging energy, where you're exchanging energy with spirit, and also in essence, you're exchanging energy with life here on Earth, right? You're exchanging energy with Mother Earth, in my example of gardening, right? And you're getting more in tune and in touch, and whatever you're focusing on, whatever it is that I was talking about, whether it's actually gardening or it's something else, whatever you're focusing on is getting you much more in tune with being grounded and in a meditative space and functioning at the vibration that you should be to be on your highest timeline. And in doing that, you are it's like powering the way I'm saying, it's like solar power. Like, you're creating energy. You're not just exchanging energy, but it's an exchange in order to create more energy, right? So with a solar generator, now you're getting this energy from spirit, and it's being converted within you to be even more powerful in the material world, and then you're using that energy to, you know, create something. You're using it for power tools and building a home, right? So unlocking the magic within, I'm focusing on this, and this looks like a drink. So it looks like a warm tea that might be significant here for someone, a warm drink. And it feels like the ivy is being repeated here, and that's important, okay? That's important here because there's some sort of like binding that's happening here. Binding. Okay, so I'm gonna go off the handles a little bit for someone here, because when I say binding, I kept hearing binding ritual, and it does feel like there was an attempt for someone here. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of specific, but I do feel like there was some sort of attempt at binding you, okay? But it's this feeling like, if you look at him here, and it's like he's signing a contract, but he's signing a contract not within the ivy, but within this up top. This right here. And I'm actually seeing this as a camphor tree, right? Camphor? I don't know how to properly pronounce it, I don't think. I love those trees. They are so beautiful in the wind. It sounds so beautiful, and the way it sways is so freaking beautiful. It's in the top with like a weeping willow. It's in the top for me of, you know, that beauty in it. But it's also healing, but it also can cause like seizures and stuff for people, I think, or like kids at least. I know it's in Vicks, and so anyway, or is it? Yeah. So I think that anyway. The point of that is it's like you're look into the spiritual meaning, basically. Okay, if this resonates with you, look into the spiritual meaning of a camphor. I don't know what it is, but there has to be a spiritual meaning to it, because I feel very strongly drawn to that. And I'm seeing you connected and associated with a camphor tree. Okay, and then the ivy I'm seeing as like this strength and like binding, this attempt at binding you, because the ivy it can be very strong, right? But you are signing an allegiance with the camphor tree, in the sense that it's this feeling of like your commitment and devotion to higher power has actually kept this from even becoming something that could potentially be strong. the camphor is protecting you because you would not be someone who gets seizures. It's like if this person touched it, they would get seizures. You see, like they cannot touch what you touch because you have such a clear energy, a higher energy. They can only reside in the lower energies, right? In the shade of the camphor. They can only reside in the shade of the trees. And then I'm seeing the ivy being represented again in another way, where the ivy, like you can make soap out of ivy. And so what I'm seeing here is like it's very cleansing for you. The ivy is very cleansing, and you're also cleansing yourself of the ivy in the example of what I just explained to you. So anyway, so it's very cleansing, but it also can attract a lot of bugs, right? And I'm seeing like bad bugs. I'm seeing like roaches, spiders that can harm you, stuff like that, right? And then I'm seeing a big snake, and the snake coming through and consuming it. And then I'm also seeing the eagle coming through and consuming these bugs, right? And so is this feeling here of something that is very cleansing and potentially very beneficial because of the way that you know how to work this energy, and you know how to work the energy, but it feels like a person. Honestly, the ivy represents as a person in this scenario, in both examples, in the example of the binding ritual and then in the example of what I'm telling you now. And so it's like this feeling that I get where it's like you know how to manage people, or you know how to work with people, you know how to understand people, and like see the good in people, and see and cleanse. And it's not cleansing people, it's just like like being able to see past people's it's weird because I heard hardships, but it's like, of course, like how could you not see someone's hardships? But there's something about that where maybe other people can look past it for some reason, or they just don't want to look past it. You know, or like maybe someone is falling on hard times, and it's like you don't see that. You see them as a person. And so there's a message coming through, something about that. And you're being rewarded for that, for just being a good person. You're gonna get karma for that. You're gonna get paid back for that. And it's like, because again, it's this feeling like, it's like I'm not doing it to get good karma. This is just how I am. This is just the way I see it. So it's like, okay, that's great. I'm getting good karma. Like I'm happy about that. That's great. But I didn't do it for that, right? And it's like, well, just so you know. Okay, moving on. Let's look at these. Meditation allows you to enter the inner realm of your soul. It is a spiritual communion with your true self and all creation. You may think there are far more important issues to attend to at this time, but meditation will help you greatly. It could have a positive influence on every area of your life, including your career and relationships. You may not be aware of it yet, but a tapestry full of positive outcomes and spiritual blessings now permeates your aura. The gray clouds have lifted, replaced by soft, radiant light. The past will soon be behind you. Let it go and embrace the positive times ahead. You are an ocean of light unfolding through the infinite space of life. Through the space between each thought, you can see your true immortal nature, the oneness of spirit that dreamt itself into the many parts of you. Is a part of you. Sorry. Like a whirlwind from heaven, it appears and reappears in its endless forms. That card is like really throwing me, like how I was talking about the God calling. It's like throwing me back to my I can't even think, what is it called? My meteorites. It's calling me back to that. You know what's also green is that one Tektite, what is it called? That everyone got, and now it's like expensive now. And that's not really like that's not really a meteorite, right? Like it's actually from space. What is that called? Anyway, someone out there probably already has it. I'm kind of seeing that as well, because because I said so, because that's what I'm saying. This is important though. This is important. I'm not going to reread it because I'm going to butcher it again, but that's important. So pause it and then flip your phone or flip your laptop or your desktop computer upside down and read this. Because there's something super important about that. Like I was saying, there's some huge message there. Okay, so anyway, you are protected by a higher power that also wants to help you. If the path seems blocked, there is a good cause. Take this as divine intervention, a sign from above, and wait. When the time is right, all flows with ease. Blessings. Love, light, blessings. Through this card, you are being showered with angelic light. Accept the blessings about to come your way and know that you deserve to be and have all your heart's desires. You are being lovingly guided along a golden path, a magical journey through which you shall discover your true essence, the infinite and eternal you. Congratulations. Inner child. Nurture your inner child and begin to express the awesome beauty you hold within you. We live in a world where a formula exists for everything, yet love and creativity have no formula. They do not need to be studied, simply nurtured. Regularly set aside some time to just play. Wow! This is such a good reading. Okay. Well, that's it. And I'm like, that's it. And then I like reached over and I have a deck right here, so I just split it to just give you guys one more card, because it's never just it, is it? And wisdom, which biblically too, they talk about like being wise as being like a child. You're very wise. Life is good. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.